Welcome to the YouTube channel, The Tech Academic Circle. Today, I am here with a new video on use of formative assessment in classroom setting. Dear teachers, let's learn assessment through a simple discussion of actual practice in classroom, which is also proved by research. Let's start. In simple terms, formative assessment is any ongoing two-way interaction between teacher and student that leads to better learning. It empowers students, strengthens outcomes, and prepares them for a successful future. How do we know how students are learning? How do we really know how our students are doing? And how do they know it for themselves? As a teacher, much of most of the knowledge about my students doesn't end up in the gradebook, but that doesn't make it any less valuable. I am constantly observing and assessing how they are learning, how confidently they are moving toward the learning goals, and what support they need next. I also encourage them to reflect on their own progress, so they become partners in their learning. This continuous checking in allows everyone, students and teachers, to make informed decisions about what comes next in the learning journey. It pushes students to take ownership, set goals, and move steadily towards success in school, in college, and eventually in their careers. And for me as a teacher, it guides what I should adjust in my instruction, whether in the next lesson, the next activity, or even the next few minutes. This practice is known as formative assessment. It is an intentional and ongoing process where teachers and students gather information during learning to provide clear, actionable, and immediate feedback. Unlike major summative assessments, which simply report what students have learned at the end, formative assessment actively shapes learning while it is happening. Research shows that formative assessment has one of the strongest positive effects on student achievement. That's because it is deeply embedded in instruction. Teachers use their expertise to notice patterns, ask purposeful questions, and engage students in conversations about their understanding. The feedback is timely, individualized, and focused on improvement, making learning more personal and meaningful. Another key element of effective formative assessment is student reflection. Learners must clearly understand the learning targets, what success looks like, and why it matters. So teachers begin by deeply understanding the standards and identifying the knowledge, skills, and behaviors students must demonstrate. With this clarity, feedback becomes more useful, learning becomes more focused, and progress becomes more visible. Formative strategies may take different shapes: exit tickets, questioning, quick checks, peer feedback, observations, and they vary from lesson to lesson, class to class, and student to student. But they all share a common purpose: to guide the next steps in teaching and learning. The data collected from formative practices is not meant to sit in a file or be used only for evaluation. If the information is not used to adjust instruction or support student learning, it cannot be called formative. Its true power lies in helping teachers and students continuously refine their work, making learning more efficient, responsive, and student-centered. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe the channel for new teaching tips.